Welcome to the Museum of Television and Radio Showcase. I'm Robert Boccia, president of the museum. And this evening we're going to show you the rarely seen documentary, Primary. Filmed in 1960, this landmark television program follows the campaign of the two leading Democratic candidates that year, Senator Hubert Humphrey and Senator John F. Kennedy, as they try to sway voters in the upcoming Wisconsin presidential primary. Written, produced, and directed by award-winning documentarian Robert Drew,
it's the breakthrough film that founded cinema verite in America,
and features the work of three cameramen who would later go on to become themselves legends in the field of documentary filmmaking: Richard Leacock, D.A. Pennebaker,
and Albert Maysles.
So please enjoy a true television milestone. Not aired since 1960, the TV documentary Primary.
We'll return in a moment with more of the Museum of Television and Radio Showcase.
My fellow Americans, a TV Land political retromercial.
I have as much experience in the Congress as Jack Kennedy did when he sought the presidency.
I served with Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
And now the news from TV Land.
Who am I? Why am I here? I'm not a politician, everybody knows that, so don't expect me to use the language of the Washington Insider. 37 years in the Navy, and only one of them up there in Washington. And now I'm an academic.
We now return to the Museum of Television and Radio Showcase. We'll return in a moment with more of the Museum of Television and Radio Showcase.
I'm Dan Rather, CBS News. This future president was widely criticized for his opposition to the ERA, the proposed constitutional amendment that would have made discrimination against women a federal crime. Early in his administration, he surprised the country by overthrowing a sexist tradition as old as the Constitution itself. He nominated the first woman to serve on the Supreme Court, an Arizona judge named Sandra Day O'Connor. Her confirmation by the Senate was unanimous. The president who broke the barrier against women on the Supreme Court was Ronald Reagan.
Eisenhower answers America.
Can you cut taxes, Mr. Eisenhower?
We can and will. Today, an average man with one child has $1,200 in taxes squeezed out of his pay. Yet the Democrats say taxes must go up. But we will put the lid on government spending.
Eisenhower answers America.
I'm 66. I can't live on my Social Security. Nobody can.
I stand for expanded Social Security and more real benefits. Believe me, sir, if I'm president, I'll give you older folks action, not just sympathy.
Eisenhower answers America.
We retired on less than a $2,000 pension, and at today's prices, we just can't live on it.
With today's taxes and prices, you need over $4,000 to buy what $2,000 bought then. That's why I say, vote for a change.
Hello, I'm Lorne Greene with some straight talk about Hubert Humphrey. Of all the candidates, Humphrey has the best record of fighting for the working man, for more jobs, decent wages, lower taxes, and a better standard of living. With Hubert Humphrey fighting for you in the White House, every working family will get a fair shake from government. Vote for Hubert Humphrey for president on April 4th. In the Roosevelt-Truman-Kennedy tradition, Humphrey, the People's Democrat.
Kennedy, 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 Kennedy,
We now return to the Museum of Television and Radio Showcase. We hope you're enjoying Vote for TV Land, a full evening of vintage political programs and retromercials from television's glorious past.
Take me to TV Land.
Welcome to the wonders of TV Land, your passport to the world of the good, the weird, and the wonderful from television's glorious past. Stay tuned for a unique selection of TV rarities, oddities, and treasures.
TV Land.
Fellow countrymen and countrywomen and those in between and everyone else. I am Pat Paulsen, and I sincerely believe that I am running for president this year. Politicians should be sincere. They should always be sincere, whether they mean it or not. Some of you fine citizens might be concerned about a politician such as myself accepting a major campaign contribution from Nick at Nite's TV Land in exchange for saying nice things about it and requesting that you call your cable company to ask for it. Well, let me just say this about that. As a presidential candidate, I find such acts of bribery deplorable. But as a spokesman for TV Land, I believe that as long as the check clears, I can live with it. But enough tomfoolery. After all, TV Land isn't all just fun and games. TV Land has its serious side, too. On occasion, TV Land will showcase documentaries about great and important people. People who are famous leaders and history makers. People like me, for example. So you'll see for yourself how serious I am. When I run for president, I mean it.
In the third grade, when we first heard about that stately white mansion on the Potomac, that was when we were first told, in America, any boy can grow up to be president. What young man, feeling the heady effects of his election as class treasurer, could resist the secret thoughts of himself gazing out across the East Lawn? Of course, there are constitutional limits on the number of boys who can grow up to be president, but a young man's dreams can't be bothered by such details. And after all, are dreams not the beginning of every great man? Patrick L. Paulsen's dream is no ordinary vision. And in spite of his modest claim, Pat Paulsen is no ordinary man. Like his heroes of history, his dream of leadership is orchestrated by a distant drummer.
TV Land, open 24 hours. My fellow Americans, a TV Land political retromercial.
It's been 2 years now since I first said, I'm Jerry Springer and I want to be your governor. Now, after sharing some specific solutions for our unemployment and education problems in this state, it looks like the nomination is finally within grasp, which makes what I'm about to tell you even more difficult. Some 9 years ago, I spent time with a woman I shouldn't have, and I paid her with a check. I wish I hadn't done that, and the truth is, I wish no one would ever know. But in the rough world of politics, opponents are not about to let personal embarrassments lay to rest. Perhaps like you, I'm not sure what any of this has to do with being governor, but maybe my talking to you about this makes a point. Ohio is in a world of hurt. The next governor is going to have to take some heavy risks and face some hard truths. I'm prepared to do that. This commercial should be proof. I'm not afraid, even of the truth, and even if it hurts. Come on, join me on June 8th. We're going to turn the state around.
Jerry Springer, Democrat for governor.
You're watching The Wonders of TV Land, a treasure trove of rarities and oddities which will either make you say, gee, this is wonderful, or I wonder why they made this. Stay tuned for more artifacts from the TV Land archive.
This evening, Nick at Night has been taken over by Nick at Night's TV Land. All of tonight's shows and retromercials come directly from this new 24-hour network, which could easily be part of your basic cable service, provided you call your cable company to let them know you want them to carry it. So pick up your phone and vote for TV Land.
TV Land, everything television.
Let's put Paul Coverdell in the Senate and put White Fowler out. White says prove we don't need him in it and Georgia wants him out. But with Paul Coverdell, we'll have a leader of that, there is no doubt. So vote Paul Coverdell in the Senate and put White Fowler out. Now, Paul needs a catchy jingle, so y'all use that. We've got to get rid of White Fowler. He's just like Ted Kennedy.
My job was to find D. Huddleston and get him back to work. Huddleston was missing big votes on Social Security, the budget, defense, even agriculture. Huddleston was skipping votes but making an extra $50,000 giving speeches. I just missed him when D skipped votes for his $1,000 Los Angeles speech.
Let's go, boys. We got him now.
I was close at D's $2,000 speech in Puerto Rico.
D. Huddleston. Thank you very much. Come on.
We can't find D. Maybe we ought to let him make speeches and switch to Mitch for senator.
My fellow Americans, I have reason to believe that many of you responsible citizens out there have already gone to your telephones and called your local cable or satellite company, requesting that they add Nick at Night's TV Land to their basic service. But it's not enough for every responsible citizen to make that call. To make a difference, every irresponsible citizen must also make that call, or at least get their secretaries to make that call for them. Cable companies listen to these calls from irresponsible people who stay up late watching TV and go to work blurry-eyed and exhausted. So please, make that call. The American people need to proclaim a mandate for TV Land. In fact, we need to proclaim a TV landslide. So pick up the phone and cast your vote for TV Land. Then you can slump back irresponsibly in your chair, forget your duties or need for sleep, and enjoy this fine episode of Petticoat Junction.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate, come and be her guest at the junction.
Petticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe, he's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Petticoat Junction.
TV Land. 40 years in a blender.
My fellow Americans, a TV Land political retromercial.
It's morning again in America. Today, more men and women will go to work than ever before in our country's history. With interest rates at about half the record highs of 1980, nearly 2,000 families today will buy new homes, more than at any time in the past 4 years. This afternoon, 6,500 young men and women will be married. And with inflation at less than half of what it was just 4 years ago, they can look forward with confidence to the future. It's morning again in America. And under the leadership of President Reagan, our country is prouder and stronger and better. Why would we ever want to return to where we were less than 4 short years ago?
Who said no new taxes and then raise the ones we got? It's that
vote for DFLer John Marty on November 8th.
This election year, vote for TV Land.
TV Land, the Anytime Channel.
My fellow Americans, a TV Land political retromercial.
Folks, we all know this nation's freedom was founded under God.
So join Dale and me as members of the National Committee to draft Pat Robertson for president. He's capable, he's qualified, and he cares. America needs Pat Robertson, so let's prove to Pat that we're ready to help.
Join Roy and Dale and receive this beautiful Draft Pat Robertson bumper sticker. Send your donation of $25 or more to P.O. Box, Alexandria, Virginia.
Please write today. Let's draft Pat.
This is Nick Belluso. In the next 10 seconds, you will be hit with a tremendous hypnotic force. You may wish to turn away. Without further ado, let me introduce to you the hypnogenesis of mass hypnosis, the Reverend James G. Masters. Take us away, James.
Do not be afraid. I am placing the name Nick Belluso in your subconscious mind. You will remember this. You will vote on Election Day. You will vote Nick Belluso for governor. You will remember this. You will vote on Election Day. You will vote Nick Belluso for governor. You will remember this. You will vote on Election Day. You will vote Nick Belluso for governor. You will remember this. You will vote on Election Day. You will vote Nick Belluso for governor. You will remember this. You will remember this.
I'm Harry Reasoner, CBS News. He was the most athletic president since Theodore Roosevelt. A former football player from the University of Michigan, he was 62 when he entered the White House and still adept at swimming, skiing, golf, and tennis. But his athletic grace was overshadowed by a series of minor accidents, beginning with a tumble down an airplane boarding ramp. Thanks to excessive media coverage, he soon developed a reputation for being remarkably clumsy. In spite of all the ribbing, he kept his sense of humor and even made fun of himself. The president was Gerald Ford.
I want you to vote for TV Land.
You're watching Vote for TV Land, a marathon retrospective of television politics from the past 40 years. And it's all brought to you by Nick at Night's new 24-hour basic cable network, Nick at Night's TV Land. There's more offbeat political programming on the way, so stay tuned.
Petticoat Junction.
Take me to TV Land.
Yes, I'm candidate for President of the United States. Now, would that make it wrong for me to serve as spokesman for TV Land? Let me just say this. This is the only network that I sincerely believe America needs. This is the only network that can give you great shows along with classic commercials, and this is the only network that offered me a job. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to promise me that you will call up your cable company and demand that they give you Nick at Night's TV Land. In return, I make a promise to you, the promise of a candidate for a political office. And I think we all know what that means. But this is really, truly one promise I know I can keep. It is my promise to you, my fellow Americans, that you will now see a wonderful episode of The Phil Silvers Show.
TV Land, we like TV.
My fellow Americans, a TV Land political retromercial.
In recent years, crime in this country has grown 9 times as fast as population. At the current rate, the crimes of violence in America will double by 1972. We cannot accept that kind of future for America. We owe it to the decent and law-abiding citizens of America to take the offensive against the criminal forces that threaten their peace and their security, and to rebuild respect for law across this country. I pledge to you, the wave of crime is not going to be the wave of the future in America.
In the debate, Dukakis said 37 million Americans don't have health insurance. That's not true, is it?
Afraid so. And Dukakis came up with that health insurance plan for working people.
It's going to play real well with the middle class. We get enough problems with the middle class.
So what does Bush do?
Wraps himself up in the American flag.
Not that again.
Would you rather talk about Dukakis' health insurance plan? Get out the flag, boys.
They'd like to sell you a package. Wouldn't you rather choose a president?
This is Jackman Wolf with the greatest hits of that great song and dance man, Ed Shaw. Shaw will tell you anything. Do you remember his classic about toxic waste?
Caught in a dump, I can't clean it up, 'cause I took too much money, baby.
Or what about?
How many times can a man change his mind? In front of
And who could ever forget?
Do the shabba flip-flop. Do the shabba flip-flop.
But wait, we'll give you additional Shaw flip-flops for free, like that never been previously released in the U.S. international hit.
I'd send the bucks to Nicaragua.
Never in one place at one time by one fantastic performer, so many great flip-flops. And it's available for a limited time only, because on Election Day, November the 4th, the Shaw Song and Dance comes to an end.
Don't forget, cast your vote for TV Land.
TV Land, everything television.
I was a no vote on the Clinton budget, and right now the Iowa legislature is having to look at taxes on senior citizens in this state because that bill passed by one vote. But what I'm proposing is reducing the tax burden on Iowa and openly discussing budget choices that involve less spending to reduce the burden on business and taxpayers in this state. That should be goal one.
This election year, vote for TV Land.
Also seen in tonight's cast were Harry Gresham as Mayor Burke, Humphrey Davis as Donnelly, Margaret Hamilton as Miss Fondy.
We hope you're enjoying Vote for TV Land, a full evening of vintage political programs and retromercials from television's glorious past.
Take me to TV Land.
Congressman, I think we're running out of gas.
It's not as if the Democrat Congress didn't have a warning. They'd been told for 25 years.
Congressman, we are running out of gas.
The last 3 presidents sounded urgent warnings.
Look at the gauge.
But the Democrats, who have controlled Congress for 25 years, ignored them. They just went blindly down the road.
Congressman, this is getting serious.
Oh, forget it, boy.
The Democrats not only failed to pass a workable energy program, they actually passed laws that cut back energy explorations here at home, discouraged alternative energy sources, and made us dependent on foreign oil.
Hey, we're out of gas.
The Democrats are out of gas. We need some new ideas. Vote Republican for a change.
I want to be your next president. But tonight, I want your vote not for me, but for TV Land. Now, can a candidate for public office also serve as a paid spokesman for a new television network? Ladies and gentlemen, not only can it be done, you're actually seeing it. Fellow Americans, it's getting very late in the evening, and I've got other things to do, so I'll make this brief. Even though it's late in the evening, it's never too late to call your cable company and ask that they give you Nick at Night's TV Land. It's never too late because many of these cable companies have answering machines, so even if nobody's there, you can leave a message. A message saying, "Take me to TV Land." So, after you place that call, and only after that, you may enjoy this upcoming episode of Hill Street Blues, knowing that you did your share in helping to build a more entertaining America.
Dispatch, we have a 911. I'm Ronald Reagan progress. See surplus door, corner People's Drive, 124th Street.
Like this place, so this must be the place.
My fellow Americans, a TV Land political retromercial.
I'm Mary Tyler Moore, and I'm here to talk to women for a minute. But men are more than welcome to listen to. And please don't take my advice just because I'm a familiar face. This is something you'll have to think out for yourself. President Carter's attitude toward the women of America is clear and constructive and forward-looking. And his attitude is reflected in action. He's appointed more women to high-level jobs than any president in history. He's been consistently in favor of any legislation that would give women equal rights. Nearly half this country's women now work outside their homes, as I do. In fact, we've become a nation of two-job families. And President Carter wants our women to be able to cut through the years of disdain and delay to get the guarantees in the home and in the world that they need. This isn't a one-issue election, of course. But men and women truly concerned about women's freedom are going to vote for President Jimmy Carter. I know I am.
Join Mary Tyler Moore in re-electing President Carter.
Bud Davis feels strongly about a democracy like ours, that we're all in it together. In his campaign, you'll find short hairs, long hairs, the silver-haired, black-haired, curly-haired, pigtailed, and the no-haired. He wouldn't have it any other way. Bud Davis for senator. For all of us.
Rybak is the only candidate with a sound position to eliminate freeloaders and reduce property taxes. Voters in Chicopee and Chicopee Falls, Rybak is right for representative. Paid for by the Matthew J. Rybak, candidate for Democratic nomination for state representative.
That was a political retromercial from TV Land.
I want you to vote for TV Land.
TV Land, we like TV.
I don't know what this is all about. Until I find out, I'm gonna have to lock you up.
Take me where the good guys will.
I'll be
right over.
Where hoodlums take it. The chin, where a girl is a girl. Me? And the guy is a guy. Where women bathe in the water supply. Take me to TV land. Tell the world I'm a TV fan. Take me to TV land. Take me to TV land.
You are here. Your place for the good, the weird, and the wonderful. It's everything television, so stay where you are and let Nick at Night's TV Land take you away.
My fellow Americans, a TV Land political retromercial.
In your heart, you know he's right.
So go Goldwater, let's go Goldwater, let's go Goldwater all the way. Just make a note to cast your vote for Mr. USA. Goldwater!
Hi, my name is Harry Belafonte. I'm an artist, and I'm not a politician. But like most Americans, I have a great interest in the political and the economic destiny of my country. I'm seated here with Senator Jack Kennedy. As a Negro and as an American, I have many questions, and I'm sure everyone does, about civil rights, about foreign policy, about the economy of the country, and about things that'll happen.
I want to make it very clear, Harry, that on this question of equality of opportunity for all Americans, whether it's in the field of civil rights, better minimum wages, better housing, better working conditions, jobs, I stand for these things. The Democratic Party under Franklin Roosevelt stood for them.
I'm voting for this, Senator. How about you?
Vote for a leader like Roosevelt. Vote for John F. Kennedy for president.
Hello, I'm Lorne Greene with some straight talk about Hubert Humphrey. Of all the candidates, Humphrey has the best record of fighting for the working man, for more jobs, decent wages, lower taxes, and a better standard of living. With Hubert Humphrey fighting for you in the White House, every working family will get a fair shake from government. Vote for Hubert Humphrey for president on April 4th. In the Roosevelt-Truman-Kennedy tradition, Humphrey, the People's Democrat.
That was a political retromercial from TV Land. This election year, vote for TV Land.
TV Land. 40 years in a blender.
I'm Dan Rather, CBS News. This future president was widely criticized for his opposition to the ERA, the proposed constitutional amendment that would have made discrimination against women a federal crime. Early in his administration, he surprised the country by overthrowing a sexist tradition as old as the Constitution itself. He nominated the first woman to serve on the Supreme Court, an Arizona judge named Sandra Day O'Connor. Her confirmation by the Senate was unanimous. The president who broke the barrier against women on the Supreme Court was Ronald Reagan.
My fellow Americans, a TV Land political retromercial.
In 1991, Dave McCurdy told a gathering back east, quote, "In my state, quality entertainment is sitting in the backyard with a six-pack of beer and a bug zapper." If this is what Dave McCurdy thinks of Oklahoma, let's show Dave what we think of him on November 8th.
Hello, I'm Burt Lancaster. I'm an actor, and I work hard at it. And like many of my friends in Hollywood, I also take an active interest in the political life of my state and my country. But I don't think my citizen interest in public affairs qualifies me to run for an office as high as governor. I know that I could look like a governor and sound like a governor. But I also know that being a governor requires training and experience of a very special kind. The experience I have as an actor has nothing to do with the experience a man must have to make important decisions affecting the lives and economy of 19 million Californians. I want California to be led by a real governor, Pat Brown. That's why I'm a member of Californians for Governor Brown, the organization that brought this announcement to you.
You know, it's nice to see something good happening in politics these days. Take a look at Gary Hart. Now, there's a senator who takes tough stands. Not because they're popular, but because they're right. That takes guts. That's what Gary Hart is all about. For what it's worth, let me give you some friendly advice. Keep what you've got with Gary Hart, the best.
That was a political retromercial from TV Land.
Let's be careful out there.
I wanna go.
Take me where the cops are cool.
I wanna go.
Take me where the kids like school.
I wanna go.
Sit me down for a really big show.
A song.
Those plates. Go for Chicho. Take me to TV Land. Take me to TV Land. I'll ask, I'll beg, I'll even demand. Take me to TV Land.
You're watching Nick at Night's TV Land, the network that's 34% better than real life, guaranteed. So stay tuned.
Don't forget, cast your vote for TV Land.